For the last 10 years, the statistics have been going down very satisfactorily, and it's only last year that we started seeing an increase in the number of accidents. And it takes a certain amount of time to monitor them, to discover why, where, who, and what the general causes are. Three things stick out. The first is that it's pedestrians. The second is that it tends to be foreigners. And the third, shoppers rather than sightseers. There's been a 60% increase between 76 and 77 in the number of accidents in Oxford Street.
There are two groups heavily involved in the problem. The first are London's taxi drivers.
Well, we did explain on many times that when one introduces these type of schemes like contraflow, Oxford Street, widening pavements, there is always a very severe risk of a higher accident rate.
The second interested group are the big store owners.
When the scheme, the Oxford Street traffic scheme, was first brought in, there was a considerable improvement after the first 9 months or so. I think there are a number of things that could be improved, particularly at the crossing roads, where there is no pedestrian phase, to allow the pedestrians to cross from west to east. I would like to see at some of the junctions, particularly the worst ones, a pedestrian phase on the traffic lights that prevents traffic coming across that road, so that the pedestrians can cross more easily and, of course, much more safely.
In an ideal world, would you like to see Oxford Street as a precinct?
Oh, of course I would. It would be wonderful to have it pedestrianised, as has been done in many major cities throughout the world, particularly in Europe. But Oxford Street is a main arterial route. The buses and taxis provide 40% of the trade, and it's quite impractical with the inadequate side roads.
The problem, as far as I can see it, could be resolved. Put guardrails along Oxford Street. Of course, one of the great problems must be for the foreign visitor. When crossing a road in their own countries, they do look the other way, and it must be confusing to them here.
One of the problems is what language do you address them in? There's such a mixture here that to subject them to any exposure for any time in their own language is really logistically a very, very heavy problem. Because judging from a committee meeting we had 2 nights ago, I guess the guardrails are probably on their way.